Among Virginia Republicans over former President Donald Trump. Some say that he needs to step aside. Others are still fully embracing the controversial figure. On your side at 6, political reporter Henry Graff explains.
Former President Donald Trump taking aim at Virginia's governor, his last name, and his win last year. Trump asking on Truth Social if Youngkin's last name sounds Chinese, adding, in Virginia, couldn't have won without me. The comments come on the heels of the state's lieutenant governor saying this on Fox Business about Trump's fate in the Republican Party.
You know, the voters have spoken, and they have said that they want a different leader. And a true leader understands when they have become a liability.
Pressed by reporters Friday following an event, Governor Glenn Youngkin sidestepped questions about the lieutenant governor's message.
Lieutenant Governor Sears is a strong leader. I deeply, deeply respect her. She is her own independent person.
Trump endorsed Youngkin a number of times leading up to last year's election. Asked about the Truth Social post, this is what Youngkin had to say.
First of all, I didn't see it.
We have it right here.
And I have to be honest. I've been busy all morning. Listen, you all know me. I do not call people names. I really work hard to bring people together, and that's what we're working on.
All of this back and forth over Trump's presence in Virginia politics is dividing those in the Republican Party. Republican State Delegate Tim Anderson out with this post on Facebook calling on fellow GOP members to denounce Trump.
Look, President Trump has a great sense of humor, and people need to understand his humor. Not everybody gets it.
But other Republicans, like self-proclaimed Trump and Heel State Senator Amanda Chase, say the former president is not hurting the party.
Everybody needs to take responsibility for their own races and how they performed.
On your side in Richmond, Henry Graff, NBC 12 News.
Well, Chesterfield police arrested the man who